regarding the Chagos Islands. But now, actually, can they go ahead with it? Well, a paper from the Policy Exchange, which will be released today, suggests the government cannot cede the Chagos Islands to Mauritius without getting an Act of Parliament to effectively allow it to progress. Someone who's supporting this paper, and obviously its main thrust, is former Conservative MP, senior Conservative MP, former Defence Secretary, Sir Michael Fallon, who joins me now. Good to have you on, Sir Michael. In terms perhaps not dripping with legality, but in simple terms, why can't they do what they're seeking to do? Morning, Sir Michael.
Good morning to you, Nick, and good to be talking to you again.
Yes, sir.
I think the Foreign Secretary has now conceded that Parliament will be able to look at this, and that's really important because there are a lot of questions from this. We were all shocked by the decision, obviously, to give away the Chagos Islands. When I was Defence Secretary, I negotiated an extension to the lease, so it was quite unnecessary to suddenly up sticks and hand the whole thing over to Mauritius. But what Parliament will need reassurance on, and what ought to be in any bill presented to Parliament, is what happens when the lease runs out. Do we have the right to extend it again? And that's what we had at the moment until this decision. And what is to stop China, or one of our other enemies, what is to stop China building a base on another of the islands next door to our existing base?
Can you explain to listeners the military significance of the island, Sir Michael?
Oh, it's one of the key places that keeps us safe. It's a joint base we run with the United States, but it helps all the Western allies. It helps in terms of logistics because it's a base, obviously, for aircraft in operations all around the world. But it also helps in intelligence gathering and other stuff that I can't actually discuss with you on an open program, Nick. But it's one of the key places in the world that helps keep us all safe. So to suddenly up sticks and hand it over, and indeed pay Mauritius to take it away off our hands, seems to me quite an extraordinary decision and an unnecessary decision.
To those who say it was effectively thieved, I think at the Napoleonic Wars, people were kicked off the islands in the 50s, 60s and 70s, and it should be returned. How would you respond?
Well, they were kicked off the islands, but it was never run by Mauritius. So it was an extraordinary decision to hand it back to Mauritius. And look, all this will now do is encourage anti-Western sentiment all over the place. It will encourage Argentina to have another go at claiming the Falkland Islands and getting some resolution passed in the United Nations or indeed in some international court asking us to concede the Falklands. It will weaken our case for Gibraltar. We'll have Spain revving up now to say that they ought to be allowed to break the Treaty of Utrecht. No, you can't go back over the past. It was unfortunate that the islanders were taken off. That was 60, 70 years ago under a different government. And by the way, they've been completely excluded from all these negotiations. There isn't actually a plan for them to return. That all lies ahead, and I'm not sure they're very keen on this agreement either. So this is unnecessary. It's damaging to our security, and Parliament's going to have to be satisfied on a lot of these questions before anything like this can go through.
Well, that's the paper from the Policy Exchange. Before